My wife demanded, "Sell your grandmother's worthless old house so we can travel." I said, "Okay." Then I gifted the deed to the sister who cared for her. My wife's screaming match with her lawyer was epic. I, 38 male, guess I need to get this off my chest. Still processing what went down last week. My grandmother Dorothy passed away 8 months ago. She left me her house, this old craftsman in a decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy, needs work, but it was her house, you know? Where I spent summers as a kid, where she taught me to play chess, where she made the best apple pie on the planet. My wife Bethany, 36, immediately saw dollar signs. We've been married 7 years, together for 9. No kids yet. She keeps saying after we travel more. The day after the funeral, the day after, Bethany starts talking about selling. It's just sitting there empty, Derek. We could get at least $300K for it. Think of the trips we could take. I wasn't ready. Told her I needed time to process. She gave me 2 weeks before bringing it up again. Then it became weekly. Then daily. That old dump is just rotting away. We're wasting money on property taxes. Your grandmother would want you to be happy. That last one really pissed me off. My grandmother Dorothy would want me to honor her memory, not cash out for Instagram-worthy vacations. Here's the thing about my sister Ingrid, 35F. She's not my biological sister. She's my stepsister from my dad's second marriage. But she loved Grandma Dorothy like her own. For the last 3 years of Grandma's life, when dementia started taking over, Ingrid was there. Every single day. While Bethany and I were living our comfortable life across town, Ingrid would drive 45 minutes each way to check on Grandma. Helped her shower, cooked her meals, sat with her through the confusion and fear. Even took unpaid leave from her job as a teacher when things got really bad. Bethany always had something snide to say about it. She's just hoping for an inheritance. Classic Ingrid, always the martyr. Grandma left Ingrid some jewelry and $10,000, that's it. The house went to me because I'm the biological grandchild. Ingrid never complained. Not once. Last Tuesday, Bethany hit her breaking point. She'd found this luxury tour of Southeast Asia. $15,000 per person, 3 weeks of transformative experiences. She printed out the brochure, slapped it on the kitchen counter. "I'm booking this, Derek. Either sell that worthless old house or I'm going alone. And maybe I won't come back alone if you know what I mean." The threat was crystal clear. Sell or she'd cheat. Maybe leave me. The entitlement was radiating off her like heat. I looked at her for a long moment. This woman who complained every time we visited Grandma in her final years, who called the house that held 40 years of my childhood memories worthless. "Okay," I said. "I'll take care of it." Her whole face lit up. "Really? Oh baby, I knew you'd see reason. This trip is going to be amazing. When will you list it?" "I'll handle it this week," I said. She actually squealed. Started texting her friends immediately about her upcoming spiritual journey through Asia. The next day, Wednesday, I called Ingrid. Asked her to meet me at Grandma's house. When she showed up, I handed her an envelope. "What's this?" she asked. "The deed. I transferred it to you yesterday. The house is yours." She stared at me, then at the envelope, then back at me. "Derek, what? I can't accept this." "Yes, you can. You earned it. You were there when she needed someone. You loved her when it was hard. This house should go to someone who'll honor her memory, not sell it for vacation money." Ingrid broke down crying, full ugly crying. We both did, honestly. Standing in Grandma's kitchen, surrounded by her chicken decorations and that ancient KitchenAid mixer. "Bethany's going to lose it," Ingrid finally said. "Yeah," I agreed. "She is." Went home that evening like nothing happened. Bethany was on her laptop researching hotels. She'd already told her whole friend group about the trip. Posted about it on Facebook with some quote about choosing adventure over possessions. Thursday morning she asked about the realtor. "Did you call someone? We should list it ASAP. Market's hot right now." "It's handled," I said. Friday afternoon she decided to drive by the house, to visualize the sale or some BS. Saw Ingrid's car in the driveway. Ingrid was inside cleaning. The text started immediately. "Bethany, why is Ingrid at the house?" "Me, it's her house now." "What? What do you mean her house?" "Derek, I swear to God if this is a joke. Call me now." I didn't call. I was at work. Had a presentation to finish. She burst through the door at 5:47 p.m. I know because I was making dinner and the kitchen clock is right there. What did you do? I handled the house situation, like you asked. You gave it to her? To that leech? Careful, Bethany, that's my sister you're talking about. She's not even your real sister. She's just some girl your dad married into the family. And she showed more love to Grandma than you ever did. That's when she really lost it. Threw her purse across the room, started screaming about how I'd stolen from her, how that was her trip money, her future. You never owned that house, Bethany. It was never yours to sell. We're married. What's yours is mine. Actually, inherited property remains separate in our state unless commingled. I looked it up. She went silent for a second, then narrowed her eyes. I'm calling a lawyer. Go ahead. She stormed off to the bedroom, slammed the door. I slept on the couch. Actually slept pretty well, Tibaha. Update 1. Wow, didn't expect this to blow up. To answer common questions, yes, this is real. No, we don't have kids. Yes, I've already talked to a divorce attorney. So Bethany actually did call a lawyer. Several, actually. The first 3 told her she had no case. Inherited property is separate, I hadn't commingled it with marital assets, and I was free to gift it to whoever I wanted. The 4th lawyer, some ambulance chaser named Gerald, told her what she wanted to hear, that she could sue for breach of marital trust and financial abuse. He charged her $500 for a consultation where he basically blew smoke up her ass. She came home Saturday, triumphant. Gerald says I have a strong case. You committed fraud. You deliberately deprived me of marital assets. I pulled out my phone, showed her the email from my lawyer, a real estate attorney who confirmed everything was legal and above board. Your lawyer is welcome to waste your money, Bethany. The gift is done, recorded with the county, completely legal. But here's where it gets really good. Bethany decided to confront Ingrid directly. Showed up at the house Sunday morning while Ingrid was there painting the kitchen. I wasn't there, but Ingrid called me right after and her doorbell cam caught everything. Bethany pounded on the door until Ingrid answered. You manipulative witch, you stole my house. Ingrid, calm as anything. Derek gifted it to me. Legally, I have the paperwork. You turned him against me. You've always been jealous of what we have. Bethany, I'm a teacher living in a 1-bedroom apartment. You drive a Mercedes and haven't worked in 3 years. What exactly am I jealous of? That hit a nerve. Bethany started screaming about how Ingrid was a fake daughter who wormed her way into the family. Ingrid's response was perfect. I held Dorothy's hand while she died. Where were you? Posting selfies from wine country? Bethany actually tried to push past Ingrid into the house. That's when Ingrid's boyfriend Roger showed up. 6'4" Roger who works construction. He didn't say anything, just stood behind Ingrid. Bethany backed off real quick. This isn't over, she screamed. I'm taking everything in the divorce. Everything. Here's what Bethany doesn't know yet. I've been documenting everything for months. Every text where she called Grandma's house that dump. Every email where she referred to my grandmother as the old bat. The Facebook posts making fun of Derek's boring family obligations when I'd visit Grandma. My lawyer says it won't affect the property division much, but it'll sure as hell matter for alimony. Especially the texts where she admits she hasn't been looking for work because Derek makes enough for both of us. Oh, and that Southeast Asia trip she wanted? Her friend group started a group chat, planning it without her. Found that out from my cousin who's dating one of them. They're going next month. Without Bethany. Update 2. The extinction burst is magnificent. First, Bethany tried to get her parents involved. Her mom, Darlene, called me Monday. This woman who once told me I was lucky to have Bethany because she was out of my league. Derek, sweetheart, I think you're having some kind of breakdown. This isn't like you. Just sell the house and give Bethany her trip. It's what Dorothy would want. Darlene, you met my grandmother exactly twice. Both times you complained about her old people smell and refused to eat her cooking. That's not the point. Marriage is about compromise. I compromised for 7 years, I'm done. She hung up on me. Then called back an hour later to threaten that Bethany's dad would talk sense into me. Gordon's a tax attorney who likes to pretend he's tougher than he is. He showed up at my office Tuesday. You're making a mistake, son. I'm not your son, Gordon. Bethany's talking divorce. Is that what you want? Actually, yeah. It is. His face went purple. You'll lose everything. She'll take you for all you're worth. I make $85K a year and drive a 10-year-old Honda. Your daughter spends more than I make. What exactly is she gonna take? He stormed out. But not before my coworker Anton heard everything. Anton, who happens to be married to a paralegal at the firm Bethany's ambulance chaser works at. Small world. Wednesday, Benny changed tactics, came home with tears, apologies, and lingerie. The full manipulation playbook. Baby, I was wrong. I was just so stressed about money. We can make this work. Ingrid can keep the house. We don't need things. We just need each other. I was making pasta, kept stirring. Bethany, you threatened to cheat on me if I didn't sell my grandmother's house. I didn't mean it. I would never. You know I love you. You called my grandmother's house worthless. You called Ingrid a leech for caring for her. I was angry. People say things when they're angry. You've been angry for 8 months then. That's concerning. She flipped like a switch. Fine, be that way, but you'll regret this when you're alone and I'm living my best life. Cool. Looking forward to it. Thursday was quiet. Too quiet. Friday I found out why. Bethany had gone to Grandma's house while Ingrid was at work. Used the spare key I didn't know she'd copied. Ingrid's security system alert went off and she called the cops. They found Bethany loading stuff into her car. Not valuable stuff. She was taking photos. Family photos from the walls. Pictures of my grandmother, my grandfather, my dad as a kid. She was also trying to take the KitchenAid mixer. The cops called me. I had to explain that Bethany didn't live there, didn't own the house, and was essentially stealing. They asked if I wanted to press charges. Before I could answer, Bethany started her performance, crying about how these were her family photos too, and she just wanted memories of Grandma Dorothy. The cop looked skeptical. Ma'am, you just told us 5 minutes ago this house was a dump that should be condemned. Ingrid decided not to press charges if Bethany returned everything and gave back the key. Bethany threw the key at her and called her a home-wrecking whore. The cop suggested Bethany leave before Ingrid changed her mind. But the peak was yesterday. Saturday afternoon. Bethany met with Gerald, the ambulance chaser, to discuss strategy. Apparently he'd done more research and discovered that since I'd gifted the house instead of selling it, there was no profit to split. No money for him to take a percentage of. According to the receptionist, Anton's wife's friend, the network is strong. The screaming could be heard from the waiting room. You said I had a case. Fraud. You said fraud. I paid you $500. Gerald apparently explained that yes, she could sue, but she'd spend thousands in legal fees to maybe get a judgment for half the house's value that she'd then have to try to collect from Ingrid, who makes $42K a year as a teacher. Sue him, not her, him. Ma'am, he didn't profit from the transfer, there's no money to recover. Then get the house back? That's not how property law works. You're just like all of them, useless. She stormed out, without paying the additional consultation fee. Gerald's office called me an hour later asking if I had her new contact info since she'd blocked their number. I said I didn't, but I gave them her parents' number. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Definitely. Final update. The divorce papers were filed Monday. Bethany got her own lawyer, a real one this time. Apparently Gerald's office is pursuing her for the unpaid bill and she needed someone to deal with that too. We met for mediation Thursday. Bethany came in guns blazing with a whole list of demands. Alimony for 5 years, the house we rent, not own, rent, my car, half my 401k, compensation for the grandmother's house fraud. My lawyer, calmly, were prepared to offer a clean break. Each party keeps their own assets and debts, no alimony. Her lawyer, looking embarrassed. My client has been unemployed for 3 years. By choice, here are 63 text messages where she states she doesn't want to work because that's what husbands are for. Bethany, those are private? My lawyer, they're discoverable evidence. We also have documentation of Mrs. Thompson's spending habits. $47,000 in the last year on clothing, travel, and dining. Mr. Thompson makes $85,000 before taxes. Her lawyer whispered something to her. She whispered back. He whispered again, more urgently. Fine, she spat. 3 years alimony. No alimony. This is financial abuse. My lawyer slid over a printed screenshot. Bethany's dating profile. Active for 6 months. looking for a generous man who knows how to treat a lady. Her lawyer actually put his head in his hands. We settled. She gets her personal belongings, her car that she's still making payments on, her jewelry, all gifts legally hers, $5,000 to establish herself, worth it to make her go away. I get my freedom, no alimony obligations to keep my entire 401k, peace. She signed while crying, not sad tears, rage tears, kept muttering about injustice and theft. The meeting ended. Bethany's lawyer practically ran out. Mine stuck around. You know what the kicker is, he said. If she'd just been reasonable about the grandmother's house, you probably would have stayed married. Yep, and eventually sold it anyway, probably, and she would have gotten her trips, most likely. He shook his head. Greed makes people stupid. As of yesterday, Bethany moved back in with her parents. Darlene called to inform me I'm a pathetic excuse for a man who doesn't deserve love. I said okay and hung up. Ingrid invited me over to the house last night. She's already fixed it up so nice. Kept all of Grandma's good stuff but made it fresh. We sat in the kitchen, eating apple pie from Grandma's recipe. Any regrets, she asked. Just one. What? I should have done this sooner. She laughed, then got serious. Derek, I want you to know, this house will always be your home too. Grandma would want that. That made me cry. First time since this all started. Roger joined us for dinner. Solid dude. Mentioned they're thinking of starting a family. Kids running around Grandma's house again. She would have loved that. Oh, and the best part? Bethany's friend group went to Southeast Asia without her. Posted hundreds of photos. Bethany commented on every single one about how it should have been her, and how karma will get everyone who wronged her. Her friend Astrid responded, Karma already did, that's why you're not here. Bethany blocked them all. According to Darlene's rage text to me, it's somehow my fault, her daughter has no friends now. I'm typing this from my new apartment. It's smaller, but it's mine. No one here to call my family memories worthless. No one demanding I cash out my grandmother's legacy for their Instagram lifestyle. Ingrid texted me a photo an hour ago. She found Grandma's recipe box in the attic. 40 years of handwritten recipes. Bethany would have thrown them away. Old paper trash, she would have called them. But they're not trash. They're history, memory, love. Just like that house. Just like what family is supposed to be. To everyone asking if I regret giving away a $300K asset? No. Some things matter more than money. Bethany never understood that. She thought everything had a price tag. Turns out she was right about one thing. Everything does have a price. The price of her greed was our marriage. The price of my grandmother's house was seeing who truly deserved it. And the price of my freedom? Worth every penny of that $300K I didn't get. Thanks for reading this saga. Time to move forward. Got a chess tournament next weekend. Learned from the best after all. Grandma Dorothy would be proud. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, the house is really worth around $300. And yes, I really gave it away. And hell yes, it was worth it to see Bethany and Gerald scream at each other about fraud that wasn't fraud. Some things in life are priceless, like watching entitled people realize the world doesn't owe them anything.